Breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ, and it is big-time news. Khabib Nurmagomedov has announced his retirement following the defeat of Justin Gaethje, put him to sleep in the second round, and he improves to 29-0, does Khabib Nurmagomedov. And he was fighting with a heavy heart after the passing of his father, who passed away in July due to complications from COVID-19. And again, Khabib Nurmagomedov announcing his retirement, 29-0, one of the best MMA fighters of all time. For instant analysis, welcome in CBS Sports combat analyst Brian Campbell. He's written about this and how heavy this was weighing on Khabib's heart and his mind, and what a performance in this lightweight championship, defeating Justin Gaethje. But your reaction to the announcement, Khabib calling it a career and retiring?
You know, you're certainly shocked right off the bat because this was news we didn't necessarily see coming, given talks of Khabib already wanting to come back in April for what we thought would be a retirement bout against maybe Conor McGregor, maybe George St. Pierre. But to hear him in the Octagon after his victory over Justin Gaethje reveal the talks he had with his mother in the aftermath of his father's July death, and knowing the persona and conviction of somebody like Nurmagomedov, this doesn't sound like it's anything but what it is, a retirement. He made a promise to his family. He will keep that. And the crux of the promise was that his father wanted him to walk away while on top of the game as the clear-cut #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. And if this performance over Justin Gaethje, a second-round submission, showed us anything, it's that he is #1 and #1 with a bullet. An absolute, complete domination. You have a fighter at the peak of his powers in his absolute prime, atop the deepest and most dangerous division UFC has ever promoted at one time. And now he's walking away on his own will, at his own timing. One of the best we've ever seen. You don't go unbeaten in this sport of mixed martial arts. There's too many ways to lose. And you certainly don't do it at the very elite level. 13 UFC fights, 13 wins, 29 overall for the great Khabib Nurmagomedov.
What are you going to say to the youngsters in 10 years when they ask you about Khabib Nurmagomedov and his 29-0 record?
Absolute domination. And that's what's crazy about this. For a fighter that is known as being one-dimensional, wrestling is his calling card. He dominates fighters with that. He's gone a whole career and lost what on the public level in front of our eyes in the UFC? One round, and that was round 3 to Conor McGregor when he was sort of regaining his energy after being taxed early on. This was a fighter who dominated with that one skill, yet quietly rounded out his game completely so that no one on any given night, and let's remind ourselves, Justin Gaethje, we thought, was as tough an opponent as Khabib has faced, could get the best of him. You saw this on Saturday in Abu Dhabi. Khabib got hit with big shots. That's what Justin's known for. He didn't take a step backwards. He came coming. He put on pressure. He tired Gaethje out. And when it was time to wrestle, he was completely dominant there. And he just kind of screwed around and gave a beautiful submission to end the fight. Here's a guy, he may be one-dimensional. He may be the best we've ever seen in the cage at that one dimension. He's also a complete fighter and a champion, and one of the best to ever step foot in there. It is not easy, even with how young this sport is, to get into that GOAT conversation, the greatest of all time. Khabib Nurmagomedov just parachuted into that. And it's not out of the question when the experts, the critics, everyone else really looks at it. He belongs there with John Jones, GSP, Anderson Silva. He might have the #1 spot when it's all said and done. We certainly leave that up over the years to come for debate. But when you go a career this dominant, lose one round, and absolutely brutalize your opponents, it's hard to say anything negative about this man.
Brian Campbell putting perspective there on the career of Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the best to ever do it. I'm happy that he walks away with peace in his heart, knowing that he went out on top for his father, who passed away in July. He goes out on top, and what a career it was, 29-0. And, of course, you can bet that the guys from Morning Combat, Brian Campbell, Luke Thomas, will be breaking this down on their podcast. You can also watch on YouTube, listen on Apple and Spotify. Download and subscribe today, Morning Combat.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.